If you have apple trees, you will have Applebees. The real question is what to do about it.
We got more rain on the farm last night, and it's like the third or fourth night in a row where we've gotten heavy rains. I think we're just in one of those weather patterns where we're just getting hammered with rain. It's kind of very similar to what happened last year. But fingers crossed, I think everything is okay here on the farm. Good morning, Ginny Barn Cat. How's it going, sweetheart? Did you have a good night? It looks like my friend Jeff from Whirligig Brewery dropped off some more brewer's grains last night. So I'm trying really hard to make the majority of my pig's diet come from waste materials. So that's things like spent grains from making beer, vegetables that kind of went a little bit bad from some of the local farms, and most definitely later this fall and even late summer, once the apple trees start to drop apples, the Piggly Wigglies will be the ones to benefit from that. But this morning, this is gonna be part of the pig's breakfast. It's like oats, and I think some rye, and maybe some other stuff that goes into this. The other week, they brewed this like oatmeal stout beer that had like a lot of like, I don't know, kind of like brown sugar vibes and oats in it. This one, I don't know, this might be more like an IPA mix. We'll see. Generally speaking, the pigs are pretty big fans of this stuff. Good morning, Abby Dog. How are you doing? You're sitting just the way you should be. You're being a very good girl. But where's Toby Dog, huh? Where are you, buddy? Toby Dog. Oh, I see Toby Dog. He's hanging out in here. Oh, how are my dogs? How are my dogs? You gotta step aside. Yeah, I'm still having some problems with Abby. I don't know, I'll call it bullying Toby Dog. Like she's always like trying to say, hey, I'm the top dog and I want all the attention. And I say, no, stop it. And I'm pretty sure this is a problem of my own making. You'll actually notice some of the plantings that we have going on inside the hoop coop here. I was able to salvage some of the pumpkins, and we're even just starting to get some of the blossoms now for that. And then I've also been able to plant a whole bunch of amaranth. And in a couple more weeks, I'm gonna throw down some oats, and that will be the mix of stuff that the birds get for the winter. All right, let's turn on the pig water. Good morning, piggies. How's it going? So I've been able to fully repair the pig yard after our flooding. Yeah, for a couple of days, the pigs were pretty much like on an island where all of this stuff was underwater. It's sort of receded now. And I was able to go in here and just over the course of the morning, trim some of the down trees. And I had to put in a whole bunch of new fence posts and just kind of entirely rebuild the pig area fencing. And so yes, I'm no longer worried about my pigs escaping and going anywhere. But I gotta tell you, it was just insane to look at some of the damage that the floodwaters did. When I look at some of the T-posts that I was pulling out, some of them were bent practically at a right angle because of all the force of the rushing water going past it. And it just really gives you a sense of how powerful that storm was and how powerful Mother Nature can be. Just recognize that, yes, there are higher powers in this world. And things like floodwaters can just drastically change what you're doing on your farm and force you to course correct. I think the biggest thing is actually that I'm probably not gonna have them move back here for next year when we get another batch of pigs. Having them this close to the brook back there, it's just too big of a risk, and things could have gone much, much worse than they did over the course of the flooding. And so, I don't know, I gotta find a different place to keep the pigs, but I just worry about the risks that are here. All right, let's feed these hungry beasts. Don't get so pushy. Come on, back up. Hey, get back, get back. You're making a mess in your food. There was also some leftover rice in their package, and so they're excited about that. Step aside. I want you to respect my foot there. Prince Philip, back up. This mud was just about drying out, but with all the rain that we got last night, it's back to being soup. Well, Prince Philip, at least you're gonna have a little bit of a mud wallow there from all the rain. That'll help keep you cool because today's gonna be a very hot day again. Yeah, the weather pattern right now is just like this constant cycle of hot, humid days, and then like late afternoon and into the evening, we get like crazy downpours of rain, and into the night we get crazy downpours of rain. And then the next morning we're back to it again, and it's, I don't know, already like 70 degrees and really humid, and it's only gonna get hotter over the course of the day. You can see right here, we've got our plums. What's really interesting about this plum tree is it has got these crazy thorns to it. Would you look at that? I got the variety from a buddy of mine who's like a permaculture tree guy. Just so cool to see this tree, which is now, I think it's about 5 years old, just how it's matured and how it's grown. And we're just wicked excited to have plums this fall. Actually, probably late August even. Whoa, holy smokes. Would you guys look at this? So this is an apple tree that I have right here, and it seems like I've got another small bee swarm on the apple tree. I'm gonna do my morning chores, but if they're still there by the end of this video, I think I'm gonna try to do another swarm capture. Rise and grind. Now let's check out our other bird family here. Rise and grind, weirdos. So my weird chicken family is doing really well. Carmen, who's the black cochin that you see here, she was sitting on a nest of eggs, but they have not hatched. And so actually just yesterday I cleared out the eggs, and so she is no longer nesting. I think those 5 little silky chicks are gonna be the only ones that I hatched this year. I'm pretty certain that all 5 of them are the offspring of Lavender Brown and Mr. Frizzle, our rooster. What's gonna happen is actually Mr. Frizzle at the end of the year is probably gonna go back to the farm that he came from. They're a silky breeder, and I'm actually gonna give them a few of the silky chicks that we hatched from Lavender and Mr. Frizzle. I'll probably end up keeping 2 of the pullets for myself and including them into the mix of the weird chickens. And so basically I'm trading my birds for a new rooster so that next year's batch of weird chickens just has more genetic diversity and even more weirdness. So you guys might have noticed that when we were looking at the ducklings, there were some adult ducks creeping in the background. The reason for that is I've actually let all the ducks and geese come down here. And so you can see the whole squadron down wandering around in this part of the world. They're getting to enjoy the very, very full pond that we have. Also, if you see out past where Toby Dog's wandering right now, that's like all marshy and mucky, which is something the ducks love too. And so this is just like their time to rotate down to this area anyway. And it timed out perfectly with all the water we've been getting because the pond has just been capturing everything. Which if I were to reflect on some of the lessons learned that we've had from the recent flooding, one of the most important things that we've had going on is actually the earthworks. Like for example, the way the pond is down there and the way we have our drainage that goes into the swamp over there, the way we cut the swales and berms through the permaculture orchard, like all of those things are helping us retain water and preventing a lot of that water from getting further down into the main part of the farm where that water could do some serious damage. This pasture might get a little bit swampy, but when it comes to waterfowl, that's exactly what they'd like. I wouldn't want my cattle down here right now because their hooves could easily destroy and damage the pasture when it's in this condition, but it is absolutely perfect for webbed duck and goose feet. You can also tell these ducks are really hungry. The geese aren't nearly as hungry as the ducks. The geese are the ones who are almost entirely self-sufficient this time of year, but the ducks really rely on me for food, and so you'll probably watch as they follow me as I walk up here to go get them their food. Like I can almost guarantee you without even looking behind myself that there's gonna be a single file line of ducks coming this way. All right, time for food for the ducks. Ooh, did you guys look at that? We've got like earwigs all inside our bird food. Earwigs are an insect that is very much attracted to moisture, and because it's been so wet, they are all over the place right now. But I just see that as extra protein for the birds. And I'm not too worried about getting mold in this because the plastic container keeps the feed dry, and I will cycle through this feed in about, I don't know, a week and a half, and so it'll be fine. Let's check in with Mr. Toby Dog. Hi, Bubba. How you doing, kid? Oh, you're so good. Probably have to brush you today. And I know for some of the folks in the comments who want like a hour-long feed of me just brushing Toby Dog, I don't know if other people would want that, but maybe someday. Ooh, so speaking of apple drops, here's the branch of an apple tree. It's just starting to get apples. These apples from this tree actually make for really good apple cider. They're not great for eating, but at this stage of the game, it's probably way too premature to do anything with these other than maybe let the birds eat them. So here's those seasonal streams that I was just bragging about. All of this just keeps capturing water, and you'll see this water runs pretty much all the way down the entire length of the hedgerow or berm or swale or whatever you want to call it. Poor soggy Toby Dog. Does that feel good to stand in that on a hot day like today, bud? The swales aren't designed to hold the water forever. They're not sealed like a pond is, so it doesn't like just capture the water. But even if we don't get any rain over the next, I don't know, 3 days or so, those will remain pretty full. And eventually the water will drain into the trees and help the trees keep growing, and the trees keep getting more moisture, which helps them grow faster and faster. I mean, obviously too much moisture is not a good thing, but the swales also kind of help regulate how quickly the moisture gets to the trees. Uh-oh, I think I have a short somewhere here. You hear that? Oh, I see the problem. My cable got a little zapped. That's no good. Let's take this off. And luckily I have a second pair of these alligator clips that I wasn't using. So I will reconnect the fence like so. That way my heifers can't escape. And later today, I'm gonna have to try to use some electrical tape to repair this. How you doing up there, girls? Can I come say hello? So they still have access to these trees for shade, but they're actually up on the highest row right now. Hi, Baby D. How's it going, sweetie pie? Hi, Alice. I see you're getting friendlier with me at least. Not as friendly as Baby B, but maybe a little bit friendlier because you're not running away from me. You're just a sweetheart. Always have and always will be. This is the divider between the upper pasture and the lower pasture. The main cattle herd over there. These girls have this entire row that runs all the way down to the end of that fence over there. And the way it works is I basically move them once a week. And so they'll be here this week. They'll actually go down 2 rows next week, and then they'll actually start cycling all the way down to the bottom again. Hopefully in about 2 or 3 weeks, that lower pasture is going to drain out and I can put the heifers down in that area where the ducks and geese are now. But I bring that point up because one of the things I'm finding is, even though I might have a grazing plan in specific places, I might want to put the animals at specific times based on the weather and a whole host of other factors. Sometimes you got to like adapt that plan to match just what your situation is. And so it wouldn't seem wise to me to put them down there right now, even though technically they should be down there next week. Because of all the mud and muck, they would damage that pasture. And so I got to just be a little bit patient. I absolutely love watching Toby Dog work up here. He's kind of like a security guard or a detective, the way he kind of just slowly and methodically works his way around here, sniffing, investigating, peeing. It really is my best buddy doing exactly what he loves and doing it really, really well. All right, Toby Dog, we got more chores to do. And I'm kind of wondering where Abby Dog is. So here's that pond drainage I was talking about earlier. As you can see, the pond is completely full, basically overflows and goes down that direction. And then over there is swamp and stream and everything. You know, people will often complain about wetlands because they're really not good to build on, and a lot of areas will actually forbid you from building on them. But when it comes to our ecosystem, what they do is they really clean out our water. So you have streams, you have ponds, you have runoff from fields when it rains, like you have all this stuff that happens. The wetlands kind of act as a filter where they run all of that water through it before getting into another larger creek, before getting into like our rivers and other places. And so it's really important that you have these buffers of wetlands out there. And so you might be frustrated that you can't build on a place because it's deemed a wetland, but you got to recognize that for the importance of like your area's overall ecosystem, they're critical. Oh boy, would you guys look at this? So this is my gigantic catnip patch, and it's absolutely going insane. And these right here, these are catnip flowers. And you guys know who loves catnip flowers? That's right, the one, the only farm OG himself, Mr. Pablo Escobar. What I got for you, bub? It's your favorite. Uh-oh. When Pablo gets the catnip in him, he gets a little bit frisky. Very soon, I'm going to be taking orders for Pablo Escobar's brand of catnip. I've decided to make all of the sales for the Pablo Escobar brand catnip go towards flood relief here in Peacham and neighboring Barnet. Very, very soon, I'll probably do it during a live stream. You guys will be able to buy your own pouch of Pablo Escobar brand catnip. The other thing that's been weird going on lately is Toby Dog has been spending a ton of time inside of here, and I don't exactly know why. Oh, I get it now. Because we've had so much rain, I think he's liked getting into the cover here, and he's dug himself a maremma hole. Dogs like Toby Dog and Abby Dog love to like sleep in holes because particularly this time of year it's nice and cool, and so he can get out of the hot sun. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he's in here because he can't really get any shade or anything, but he gets into that little hole and he can get out of the sun in the rain. This was the other kind of major damage that we had, which really isn't major, it's very, very minor. We had rips here, we had rips right here on our greenhouse plastic, and so I'm trying to figure out a way to patch it and repair it before winter. But Toby Dog, have you seen Abby Dog? I don't know what she's up to, and I'm worried she might be getting into trouble. Abby Dog, have you been there watching the birds this whole time? Have you been on guard duty? Have you been on honest to goodness guard duty? This might be a turning point for you, I don't know. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, but I don't know, I'll take that as a good sign. Now you're ready to go visit your cattle? All right, let's go. Oh dear, here comes the gross mud. Abby Dog, come! Hey, hey, hey! Whoa, Abby's chasing a deer. Abby Dog, no! No! Well, I should be happy that you didn't run off and try to go get it. But I didn't like that you didn't listen to me there, miss. Because I was riding the bike, I don't think I got a great angle of it, but there was a deer in between my place and my neighbor's place, and Abby saw it and she just went after it, but she stopped actually right at the fence line, which I guess if I should say anything, probably the behavior I'd like to see out of you. At least you're respecting the boundary. All right, let's go check on our coos. Run off the fence so I don't get zapped. Opening the gate for our Abby Dog, and away we go. Oh, Abby's got to do her business. So certain parts of the pasture are still kind of flooded and really waterlogged, but for the most part, things held up fairly well. Ah, look at all these chickens coming to greet me. They know what happens when I show up. Isn't that right, Black Francis? It's food time. So far, I don't think I've lost a single chicken, keeping them in this new free-range style system. Of course, I really should knock on wood around that one, but I really do need to fix this shade mobile. Just been so busy with other things that I haven't gotten around to it. I have this like nagging to-do list of things that are things I should do, but are not necessarily the most important things I need to do. Like building a new nesting box for the chicken coop or fixing that shade mobile. Those are both things that I really should do, but I've just been so busy with other things like rebuilding pig yards and helping various folks around here. Just haven't gotten to it. And I will admit, it's starting to drive me crazy, and probably in the next few days, I need to just buckle down and have a concerted work effort to change some of these things. Have some fresh water, dirty birds. They really don't care about the water because the thing they actually want is the food. I'm gonna keep dumping this food on you guys if you don't get out of my way. There you go. So I have been having a little bit of a chicken food problem up here. And in all fairness to the chickens, it's not really their fault. You see, my calves have been sneaking over here, and I think they've been trying to eat the chicken food, and they even knocked over my feed storage bin. I guess it was what, 2 days ago? I was so ridiculously mad at them when that happened. It's just like, come on, guys. So I think I'm gonna have to try to figure out a calf-proof feeding system for the chicken feed to keep it from being a problem in the future. Yes, it looks like the Moo Crew is ready to move to their next section. Hey, cows! Come on, cows, fresh grass, come on. Looks like Macho Man is flirting with Astrid over there. Macho Man, you putting in the work there, buddy? No wonder nobody's trying to come over here right now. They probably see you two flirting and they don't want to get mixed up in that at all. You know, it's funny, about 2 or 3 videos ago, I showed a scene where Macho Man was getting frisky, and I got demonetized on YouTube for that video. And so I don't think you guys will be seeing that in future videos. They'll probably end up having to get censored. So with the Happy Cow Mobile 3.0 out of commission, I've been actually using the Happy Cow Mobile 1.0 as a substitution to ensure that my animals have shade. And so far it's working out pretty darn well. You know, the biggest problem I had with this originally was it was not all that stable when I was doing it in the lower pasture on a hill. But since most of the land up on this pasture is pretty flat, I'm finding it's actually working out really well. And so I might just resolve to use this for the rest of the year and then figure out something different for next year. Come on, Amelia, move, move. Hey, cows. Come on, cows, fresh grass, come on. All right, Annie, lead the way. You can do this, come on. The romantic duo, you two, yeah, go get some fresh grass. Refuel, you're gonna need it. Hey, boss cow, how are you doing? Oh, and it's my favorite cow. Hi, Ariel. Come on, boss cow. Are you no longer the boss cow, boss cow? Yeah, I'm starting to notice that my boss cow might not be my boss cow anymore. I'm actually starting to wonder if Astrid, who's been the one who's been romantic with Macho Man today, if she's maybe becoming the boss cow. Hey, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. How are you doing, sweetie? Even she's getting big and frisky now. Yeah, all 4 of our calves are doing great. They've been dealing with the weather just fine, no issues. They've been staying with their moms. They're growing really quickly. All of it's very positive and very exciting, so I'm happy about that. Abby Dog, your breath smells like cow poop, which really leaves me with only one reasonable conclusion to make about you. So what you just witnessed right there is Joey Ramone being rude to his sister, Bonnie McMurray. Joey likes to keep the scratching post to himself. And now comes the part of our adventure where we try to deal with this situation. And I got to admit, I've never dealt with anything even remotely like this. Like, it's just a swarm of bees on a tree. I'm gonna assume that there's a queen somewhere in there, but I'm having trouble spotting her. I think what I might try to do is just bend this whole apple tree down and sweep the bees into a hive that way. I don't know, maybe all the bee experts in the comments can give me a suggestion. I'll probably shoot some text questions in the next few minutes to some beekeeping friends of mine, but I don't want to wait too long before dealing with this. But I guess before I can do anything, I really need to change into my beekeeper's costume. There we go. We are in our beekeeper costume.
Oh, wow. Somebody learned how to edit. Your effects are, special.
And I feel like I'm ready to try to tackle this challenge. Now, the thing I'm gonna need to try to do here is find the queen in all of this. When I think about what I screwed up last time, the real core issue was the fact that I did not capture the queen appropriately. Brush these guys into here. Shake them in, see if I can find her. I'm not seeing my queen. Shh.
shoot, I think I might have screwed this up, because not finding the queen was the thing I screwed up last time. And honestly, if I had to guess, this is a smaller swarm. This might have been the swarm I tried to catch the other week. They might just be living on the run. That might be how they ended up there. Wait, is my queen up here? They keep coming back to here. Is she here? One thing I'm noticing is it seems like the bees are attracted to this part of the apple tree branch, and so I'm just gonna hack this thing off and put it right on top of the hive, and maybe that will help them recognize where I want them to go. Well, I've attempted to do my best, even though I don't think my best was very good. But I'll let you guys know in the next video if I ended up catching these bees. So thanks a lot, everyone, and thank you again for all of your generosity and support for our community here in Vermont. You know, as we're recovering, and it is a slow road back to recovery, which you guys are doing, what Goldshaw Farm viewers specifically are doing is incredible and overwhelming, and I'm just very, very grateful. So thank you.